I don't have kids personally, but I have younger siblings. I can imagine that it's not the same teaching certain kids at certain age these lessons. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Or do boys and girls learn differently in that regard as well? And really, at what age do you then start teaching kids these lessons? And can you go a little bit into the ladder system? What does it involve really to, grow and learn in that regard?
Yeah. So I started it, like I said, when my oldest was 4, but with my other 2, I started when they were 3. And I think that at that age is when they are very aware that there are things at the store that they want to bring home with them, but they are very unaware that there is a cost and there's an amount of money that has to be paid at the store to bring it home. So the ladder is, let me grab it here. So the ladder is like this chart. It's now a physical chart that you can hang in your home, on your refrigerator or on your, a door. And basically the kids, there's an area for the big kids. There could be up to 3 kids. Some families have done 4, like they've divided this. So it's very customizable. You put the kids' names at the top, and then you put a sticker starting at 0. And then when they work, they earn, they move up the ladder. And when they spend, or depending on your family values, my kids can also move down the ladder for losing, for unexpected behavior. They move down the ladder. There's an area for debt. So if they are at the store and they don't know exactly how much money they have on the ladder, which is something that everybody should learn, you should always know what you have to spend before you spend it. And they make an error and they think they have $10, but they really only have $8. Then they go into debt, and they have to work their way out of debt. There's lists of chores on the back that they can choose, because really when you're in debt, you should be sitting around. And it gets them familiar with the vocabulary. There's a save spot. Once they accumulate money in the save spot, they can move it over to the investment elevator, which is where we talk about money growing and using the stock market. This area is customizable for families. So based on your needs, based on the seasons, based on the age of your kids, you were talking about different kids and ages and how to introduce money. And this area is really customizable. So you may have one of your children needs pictures of their chores. They need a picture of, a dog, because that's their chore is to feed the dog. Or they need a picture of just, brushing their teeth, because at that age, at 3 or 4, that might just be one of their chores to kind of get them to think about doing that. For older kids, it can be, a list or just a couple things. So that's the ladder. Yeah. So
I really wish my parents had this when I was growing up.
I know.
But like sometimes I tell people and those who know me, like something like happened to me just on a very personal way when I was growing up. Like I went to when Toys R Us still existed, went to Toys R Us and I really wanted a bike. I think my dad said he couldn't afford or wouldn't get it for me, and I had to basically earn it. And so that's, that was the inception of me actually working at a young age, around 8 years old, and getting paper out. So I had paper out into perpetuity, so, but I mean, that is just, and I'm really curious with that ladder, because the visual, and those who are only listening to this on the podcast platform, go watch later the video so you can see this amazing, elaborate, incredible tool, that Shannon has, and you'll be really blown away. So I'm really curious, like, kind of psychologically, how does that work with the kids in a way that maybe they don't feel guilty if they're in the red, you could say, right? Like, how do you make them not feel guilty, but rather like empowered to stay like want to be on track with the thing they really want to get? How does that work?
Yes, I think that I have to say that my children, they haven't been in debt in a long, long time. Actually, I can't remember the last time they were in debt. And I think because they got to practice, one of the things about teaching kids financial literacy is they need time and consistent opportunities to practice. And so this gives them that at a young age where they get to practice the consequence of spending more than you have, or they get to practice the consequence of losing money when you don't have it.